The following is another live local sports exclusive of WNEP-TV 16. The double barrel action is about to explode. Last weekend, Dunmore devastated South Williamsport, stopping the Mounties dead in their tracks as the Bucks quest for a state title continued. And now, the long, hard season that began in late August is on the line. The Dunmore Bucks and the Keystone Panthers collide in game number 1 of a spectacular doubleheader. Live from Middletown, Pennsylvania, it's high school championship football on WNEP.
Hello, everybody, and a pleasant good morning to you on a sunlit day and a frozen turf here from Middletown, Pennsylvania. The first game of our football doubleheader championship. This afternoon, we're going to bring you Montoursville and Hickory, but now the business at hand is Keystone and the Dunmore Bucks. Well, the crowd is here. We've got beautiful sunshine, snow on the field. Tim Carlson, what about Dunmore? And more importantly, what about their injured lineman, Tom Plavlowski? Is he going to start?
Paul, he didn't practice too much this week. Yes, he is going to play as long as he can, and of course, he'll be part of that big Dunmore line. That's a big key today to try to control the ball, and that's what Dunmore has to do today. They do outsize the other ball club.
Joe, we have known not too much about the Panthers from Keystone. We do know that they have a tall quarterback by the name of Jeremy McCool. He's 6'5". What about him?
The guy is already thrown this year for over 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. The key is if Dunmore can put pressure on the big 6'5" quarterback, McCool, that will be the difference in the game, making sure he doesn't have time to throw.
The first game of our football doubleheader championship from Middletown, Keystone and Dunmore. And we'll be right back with the kickoff. A Saturday morning football game here on WNEP-TV and a state championship in the Class A qualification. The Bucks of Dunmore and the Panthers from Keystone. Keystone from Knox, Pennsylvania on the west side of the state. Well, as we told you earlier, the sun-filled day, but we also have a snowy field. They received quite a bit of snow from that snowstorm that hit most of the south yesterday. And there you get a picture of some of the crowd that has journeyed from Dunmore and as well as from the west from Keystone. We're going to give you a look at that field out there. Joe and Tim, we were out there. We tested the footing. What is this sun going to do about halfway through the ball game to that snow? Is it going to be mushy, slippery, hazardous?
Well, right now it's very slippery. In fact, one of the Keystone players came off the field a little while ago. Looked like he may have turned an ankle. And the thing about Keystone is they like to throw the ball. I really think today the game is going to be won by the team that doesn't fall down. I think you're going to see somebody make a big play maybe on offense or defense because a defender or a receiver fell down and didn't make the play. That's the key today.
Let me talk about the gentleman that was injured, by the way, too, Joe. That's number 52, the center, Dave McCall. As you see the Dunmore Bucks right there, trying to stay warm as they just came out on the field. Dave McCall is the center for the Keystone offense. Now, they operate out of the shotgun quite a bit. A key person. If he doesn't play, it may really upset the offensive scheme for Keystone. So keep that in mind if Mr. McCall, Dave McCall, the center, is not able to play today properly because he hurt himself pregame. It might hurt them in that offensive shotgun formation. And there's Paul Marranca, assistant coach of the Dunmore Bucks. We're going to have something on Paul and Coach Henzes coming up at halftime, which I think you'll see very interesting, a connection between the two, Paul.
Speaking of Mr. Marranca, Paul Marranca and the Bucks were out here earlier about a half hour ago, and they came out with sneakers just to test the turf. Marranca took one look at the sneakers and says, we've got to wear cleats. So in they went, put on the cleats, and I guess that's what they'll start the ball game with for better footing.
And the Panthers, as you see, are here, and they are undefeated, a perfect team. They run the big offense behind that 6'5" quarterback, McCool, and he has thrown for over 2,000 yards. And if he can have time today to set up and throw, I think that could be the difference. I think the pressure is going to be on Dunmore's bigger defensive line to put the heat on the big quarterback. And there he is, Jamie McCool. He is 6'5", and he has got the job done all year, over 2,000 yards passing.
And Jason Nellis, the big tailback for the Keystone Panthers, and there's the guy that they're going to be counting on also to maybe balance out their attack a little bit. By the way, a little tidbit for you guys. I thought you'd like this. The Dunmore Bucks against teams with paw prints on their helmets this year are 1-1. They defeated Valley View and lost to Berwick a couple of weeks ago. So I just thought you'd like to hear that.
So Dunmore with the record of 12-1, Keystone 12-0. Jim Lopez, the coach, of course, of the Panthers, and Jack Henzes Jr., the head coach of the Dunmore Bucks. The final game of the season, guys. It's been a long time, as we said earlier, on the air since mid-August. Here we are, mid-December, and they're still playing football. There's Jack.
Last night, we had a chance to visit with Jack. We went live, in fact, from the hotel in Middletown. The team came down overnight. It's 10 o'clock start. It's about a 2-hour drive, so they came down yesterday afternoon. And Coach Henzes, I thought, was a little anxious last night. I think maybe a little bit nervous. First time ever that his team has been in a position to win a state playoff. And, of course, the reason for that, they've only had the second year of state playoffs this year.
But what a real bowl game atmosphere it was last night, Joe. It was like being at the Fiesta Bowl a couple of years ago. Everybody was having fun. And now our national anthem.
Middletown Area High School Stadium, and you all recall that last year Berwick defeated Middletown in the semifinals. Jay Christopher is here with us in Middletown. He's on the sidelines. Jay, come on in.
All right, thanks very much, Paul. Tom Pawlowski, what does that right knee feel like?
Feels all right today. Feels great.
You're going to go one way. Any objections to that?
No, I just want to play in this game. It's a big game.
Okay, thanks very much. Have a good game. Back to you, Paul.
All right. According to Coach Paul Marranca, Tom Pawlowski cannot make that injured knee any worse than it is. The doctor gave him the okay to play. How far he will go and how long he will play, well, that remains to be seen.
White has won the toss and spurred. Black up here, white down there.
52, Tom Hopkins. 33, Roy Hoffman. The number 61, Tim Ruddy.
Good luck to you, gentlemen.
Well, just like Berwick last week, winning the toss and accepting to kick off.
Well, actually, they deferred, which means that, you know, the other team, Keystone, had the option. They decided to receive, and I think Dunmore is going to put their big defense out there. And again, I really think today, if I'm Keystone, I'm coming out, I'm going to throw, I'm going to test the field, I'm going to test the Dunmore defense. I think a guy slipping down today might be the difference in the game.
And Joe, Dunmore has had some problems against teams, not that they've had that many this year, but have had some problems against teams that do operate out of the shotgun. I wouldn't be surprised to see Keystone go to the shotgun very quickly in this game, not on the very first play, just to test Dunmore and see how they come.
They throw over 50% of the time. They like to throw the ball. They're going to take advantage of that big quarterback. 60 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. So, they're going to use that offense today. And as I said, they throw more than they run. Very rare in high school football.
Coach Henzes with the last words to his Bucks before the kickoff of the football game. And we are just about ready to go.
The first two games today on WNEP at 4 o'clock. Montoursville in the AA State Championship from this same stadium. They'll clear everybody out of here, tell them to go home, and then they'll bring in Montoursville. They'll play Hickory for the AA. And in between, about 6 miles down the road from here at Hershey at 1 o'clock, Berwick for their second straight state title.
And if the sun stays out, that snow may be gone. We may be playing the second game on a green turf. Ready to tee it up, there is Tim Ruddy, number 61, the outstanding lineman, ready to kick off. And deep, of course, for the Panthers, number 22, Wilson, number 35, Weichner. Wilson, the deep man, averaging over 13 yards on a kickoff. It's going to be Weichner. Weichner at the 15, Weichner to the 20, to the 25, decides to hit the middle, and that's where he'll go down, and it'll be the Panthers to put the ball in play right there.
All right, let's take a look at the Keystone offensive lineup from end to end. Wilson, Dybel, Shawner, McCall, Say, Eisenhuth, and Byerly. McCool, the quarterback. Best and Nellis, the running backs, along with Israel Klinger. So that's the way it sets up for Keystone as they come out to start it off, Paul.
Okay, Jeremy McCool, number 12. And already we've got a whistle and a timeout.
And one of the tough things today, of course, is going to be following the play with the line markers. They've put yellow down in some of the key areas on the 40 on the sidelines, but it's going to be difficult today to spot the football.
In the backfield will be Jeremy McCool, the quarterback. The fullback is Matt Best. Jason Nellis, the tailback, and Israel Klinger, number 20, who is in the slot to the left as the flanker back. Dotting the I is Jason Nellis. He's rushed for over 1,100 yards this year. He gets the first carry, hits the right side of the line, hit hard by 3 or 4 outstanding Bucks somewhere at the 35-yard line.
And Tim Ruddy was right there for the Bucks, and he's one of their key ball players. Joe, I'm surprised to see them run to that side right away.
Well, right away they come out running the ball. As you look at the Dunmore defense, Colo, Ruddy, Pavlowski, Hopkins, and Gallagher, and then McAllister, Silvestrini, Golden, Altman, Marcase, and Garvey.
2nd and 8 from the 35-yard line. We're just underway here on a sunny Saturday morning. Glad to have you aboard. McCool hit in the backfield and takes the nosedive down.
Tommy Gallagher makes the tackle. He's right on the money. Gets through there quickly.
That's exactly what Dunmore needs to do. That's their plan today, to get the quarterback. Now watch. This kid is big, you can see, but look at the rush here, and he doesn't have time to set up and throw. That's the best way to stop that big passing game.
And that's the leading sack man for the Bucks, Gallagher, with 10 sacks all year long. 3rd and about 23 now. The ball at about the 23-yard line. There are no line markers, as you can see, so it'll be a guessing game just where that ball is. We'll try to give you an approximate. Here is McCool back to pass. A southpaw being chased out of the pocket. Fires downfield and tipped by Marquez. Almost intercepted.
Great coverage by Dunmore. That time, the quarterback, McCool, had time, but Dunmore's secondary had everybody covered. Couldn't find a man open. And Dunmore holds on the first possession. And a great crowd has come down from Dunmore. In fact, on both sides of the field today. Nice crowds to support their football teams on a Saturday morning.
And Tom Gallagher, by the way, once again, the guy who was flushing McCool out of the pocket there and really chasing him down. So Mr. Gallagher is on his game already.
Byerly will punt, and there is Rory Altman deep. Bounces at the 45. Takes a little bit of a Panther roll right across the 50-yard stripe, and the Bucks will put it in play from midfield, 1st and 10.
Good place to start. All right, let's take a look at the Dunmore offense now. Of course, the quarterback is Tom Marquez, who's had a wonderful season. Dave Silvestrini and Tom DePietro, the running backs, along with Rory Altman. Of course, across the front line, it's Garvey, Pavlowski, Bauman, Jimmy, Hopkins, Ruddy, and Colo. They're big, they're strong.
1st and 10, Marquez. Hands off through the line, off the right side between Hopkins and Ruddy, and he sprints out for about 2 yards.
Tommy DePietro there getting the call the first time, Joe, and you know they're just going to try to run it up the gut.
Absolutely, simply because they've got the big offensive line. They certainly outman Keystone's defense. They've got a couple of guys who've rushed for over 700 yards this year. I think you're going to see them run the ball, and run it till it doesn't work anymore.
The ball on the Panther 46-yard line, a pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Here in the first quarter, there is no score. This is Silvestrini. He can break open huge holes. He rolls across the 40-yard line to about the 38-yard line.
That time, simply great blocking by the left side of that Dunmore offensive line. Made the big hole. Silvestrini comes through, breaks a tackle, and gets the first down.
And the Keystone defense, Byerly, Eisenhuth, Heater, Shaner, Morris across the front line. The linebackers, Nellis, Say, and Klinger. The secondary, McCool, Wilson, and Best. Although I don't think that secondary is going to get much work today, Paul.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. A little shovel to DePietro. The little scat back is hit right at the line of scrimmage. Hit high and low, and down he goes.
I want to tell you, Timmy Ruddy told me, the big lineman for Dunmore, he was waiting for this ball game because he thinks this is going to be a real showcase of how the line can blow him out.
Look at this. Matt Best, Jason Nellis come up and make the play and stuff that one right at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9. Ball at the 38-yard line. Wide to the left side is Fred Garvey. The split end on the left side. In motion goes Rory Altman to the left side, and the handoff to Silvestrini.
Look out.
Here he goes. Silvestrini has to get by one more man, and he's crushed down inside the 20-yard line at about the 18.
What a run by Dave Silvestrini, and I want to tell you, Joe, he had some space to go through here. Watch this.
Watch. Look at the fake this way now. They're coming back the other side, and there's just a huge hole. Look at the blocking on that offensive line.
Timmy Ruddy just pushed somebody right out of the way like he was a stick.
McCool slides off from the quarterback.
About a 12-yard pickup on the 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. This is Golden in the ball game for the first time, and Golden is manhandled after he picks up maybe a yard.
Joe, how about the variety of running backs we've seen for Dunmore so far? Everybody's touched the ball, and it looks like they're going to make sure that Keystone can't double or key on anybody at any point.
And they all have a little different style of their own. They've rushed very successfully this year with a variety of guys. A couple of them over 700 yards for the season, so you really can't key on any one guy.
Ball somewhere at the 14-yard line. 2nd down and about 7. Golden again. This time tries the right side. In around the 10-yard line goes Golden.
There's Tommy, number 29, who's done all right for himself this year during the regular season. Rushed for 453 yards on 86 carries and 4 touchdowns. Coach Jack Henzes taking a look. What do you think he's going to call on this one, Joe, in about 3rd and 2.5 or 3?
Well, there's no question that he's going to run the ball. He's in 2-down territory down there on the 13-yard line. I look for something a little off right tackle.
A full house backfield now for the Bucks, and Marquez gives.
Silvestrini just blew through there, Paul.
2-yard line.
Silvestrini, the workhorse, of course, this year has rushed to 754 yards and 12 touchdowns. Take another look.
Here we come, right over the right tackle. Look at the blocking right there. Need 2.5. That's the way to get it.
He does sneak through there very nicely, though, Joe. He kind of stepped sideways to get through what there was.
They are about 2 yards away for the touchdown. 6:12 left to go in the first quarter. 0-0, Keystone and Dunmore, but now the Bucks threatening to get on the board here in the first period. It's going to be DiPietro, the last man through, but all of a sudden the hole plugged up.
And it sure did. The linebackers coming up and adding a little reinforcement to the front line, Joe.
Well, you know why you can do that? They're not running. They haven't run. The linebackers are up. The defensive backs are up. They're figuring run, so everybody pinches in. I wouldn't be surprised this time. Maybe they try to spread it out. Maybe they'll bring Marquez off to the left or the right side. Try to take something in around the outside, because when you don't throw the ball and you're down that close, it gives a chance for the defense to come up and pinch in.
I think that's a real good observation. I would not be surprised at all. As I've seen earlier this year, Marquez maybe doing a little rollout and trying to sneak through one of the little pockets that open up. He's got the speed to do it. And, you know, on a field such as this, that's not such a bad idea, because it is difficult at times to pursue laterally. So you may just see that happen.
And a lot of room on the left side. They're lined up on the right side of the field. So I would like to see here something with Dunmore maybe taking Marquez out to the left.
2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. It's Silvestrini over the top, and he's in for the Dunmore 6-point.
Boy, what a pretty drive that was. Just like clockwork, and that's a typical Dunmore touchdown.
Well, you get the ball on the 50-yard line. You've got perfect running conditions. You dominate the offensive line, and there it is. He just runs right over his blockers.
A great bird's eye view of that shot right there. Mr. Silvestrini just leaving his feet and going through.
All right, Tim Ruddy will attempt the extra point. Let's see. Is Marquez going to hold as Ruddy adjusts his shoes, ties his shoes, now gets in formation. Ruddy has kicked 31 out of 37 extra points this year, trying to make it 7-0.
Coming right at you here, too.
The snap, the hold, and the kick. It's long, and it goes over the crossbar, and Dunmore leads by a score of 7-0.
We'll be back with more right after this.
Go, guys! Go!
50-yard drive for the TD. Silvestrini copped 26 of the 50 yards for the TD and the 7-0 lead. That is Wilson, Mike Wilson, the end and kick return specialist, averaging 13.7 a return. As Silvestrini boots it away. And it is going to be Wilson. Wilson heads to the sidelines this time. To the far sidelines, and is hit high and tackled very, very hard.
Well, folks, it's only first quarter, but let me tell you why this is critical. First of all, in that drive, Keystone didn't show me anything that they're going to be able to stop Dunmore. There's no way, as you can see here, they had their way on this drive. So Dunmore is controlling the line of scrimmage. Right now, Keystone has to come out and generate some offense and put some pressure on, because I don't see any way they're going to stop Dunmore offensively.
The ball at the 29-yard line, and it's the Panthers' second chance on offense as they trail 7-0. McCool, Best, Nellis, and Klinger. Nellis is supposed to be their breakaway one, and he dots the I and gets the handoff. Goes right through the center of the line. Nellis still plunging forward, and Nellis picks up a couple of yards. He's rushed for 20 touchdowns this year.
Well, that time he pushed right through Rory Altman. Altman met him head on somewhere about the 3-yard gain, and then he just kept pushing and made that into a 7-yard gain.
I don't think you're going to see that happen too often today, though, against the Dunmore front line, especially on this football field today.
At the 35-yard line, 2nd down and 4. Over the center is Dave McCall, number 52, ready to snap it back to the tall senior quarterback, Jeremy McCool, 6'5". In motion is Klinger to the right side. The handoff is to the first man through, and that's Matt Best. And look at the pileup, and let's go down to Jay Christopher on the sidelines.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, they're swarming. Some reaction for the first plays from scrimmage.
Well, we told our defense right in the very beginning we want to go after them and hit them, and we want to get the football. I think the first series of downs we showed that we're physical and we're aggressive, and when we got the ball in good field position, we want to do what we do best, and that's go after them.
All right, thanks very much. We'll go back upstairs now.
Well, and speaking of Best, let's see who the injured player is. Down on the line, it is McCool.
Yeah.
Well, that...
Oh, sorry, Matt Best.
Matt Best.
Matt Best.
Number 12, Matt Best. He was in on that last carry and being attended to now by the assistant coaches.
Again, one of the keys today is the footing. It's going to be very difficult to get firm footing, and you're going to see some guys slipping. You're going to see maybe some turned ankles here and there. I think he was just hit hard.
Matt Best this year with 63 carries for 416 yards, a 6.6 yard average. That's not bad at all, and of course 4 touchdowns, but he is certainly not the major rusher on this ball club, but nevertheless a key part of it. There's part of the great crowd, Paul.
They're here from Dunmore and from Knox, Pennsylvania.
Now, Dunmore plays a big physical schedule. They're a big physical team themselves. To give you an idea of the difference in maybe the size of the competition they play, Dunmore had already clinched a spot into the playoffs, while Keystone had a win later on. They play smaller schools. They had a win to get more points.
We're back on with 3 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the first period. Dunmore 7, the Panthers nothing. It is 3rd down and 1 from the 38-yard line of Keystone. Jeremy McCool, Eric Miller is in the backfield now, and Jason Nellis is hammered down. Look who's the first guy rolling around, Timmy Ruddy.
Big 3rd and 1 play, and trying to run off the right side, and this is not what they do best, by the way. They like to throw, and Ruddy is there to stop the play for a loss. It'll bring up 4th down and 3.
Yeah, a little help from his roommate, too, Sean Colo. Those two roomed together down here, and they're good buddies, and they certainly made the play together, but Timmy really wrapped him up.
So it's 4th down and about 3, and Keystone will boot it away. Byerly, averaging 30 yards a punt, will be punting to the lone safety man, and that is Rory Altman. There's Byerly, averaging 30 yards on a punt this year. Low snap, gets it away. This one won't travel 30 yards. Fair catch called for, but it'll bounce way in front of Altman and is down at about the 46-yard line. Dunmore puts it in play 4 yards further back than where they started last time.
And Jack Henzes will take that field position all day, Joe.
And the point I was trying to make before about the size of the school, Dunmore, an A school, plays bigger schools in the Big 11. They accumulated more points to get to the state playoffs. The Big 11 is bigger school. while Keystone played smaller schools, and I think that works to their disadvantage. They played more of their own class. Dunmore played in bigger classifications in the Big 11.
At the 46-yard line on a partially snow-covered field here in Middletown. Marquez to Silvestrini. And the sophomore fullback is hammered down after a yard picked up.
I think Davey just missed the hole on that one. If he could have gone to the right just a bit more, he would have had a little more room to break through. But that's easy for us to say sitting up here.
Part of that Dunmore crowd that came down last night. Some today, but many last night. In fact, the cheerleaders came down. A lot of members of the school came down and just made it like an overnight get-together good time. And right now, it is a good time. They're leading 7-0.
2nd and 9 from the 48-yard line. Marquez right and low. His first pass, and it is complete to Garvey. Garvey breaks one tackle. Garvey to the sideline, the 20, the 15. He's tripped up at the ankle and down at around the 5-yard line. What a pass, Marquez to Garvey.
And Matt Bass saved it with an ankle tackle down at the 5-yard line, but the play was actually missed further upfield. First pass of the game, and he is wide open.
And that's why that run does you some good, Joe. Does it really set that up? The linebackers are cheating in behind the front line, and he's wide open in that middle area, and he's gone.
4-yard line. And there's the great ankle tackle right there to trip him up by Matt Best. And that's twice early in the first quarter we've seen McCool, the defensive back, miss a couple of tackles in the open field.
Marquez trying to take him in again. DiPietro gets the call. He's inside the 5, rolling to about the 3-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down.
And I got a feeling that Keystone was extremely shocked by the play that Coach Jack Henzes called for Dunmore there. Actually, Paul Marranca calls the offense a pass play like that, especially in the field position they were in, and especially the way they grounded out the last time.
At the 3-yard line, Dunmore leading 7-0. The clock under a minute here in the first period. Trying to tack on yet one more before the period blows by. It's DiPietro walks into the end zone.
If he wanted to take me with him, we could have made it together on that one.
You're not kidding. Paul Marranca and Jack Henzes shaking hands just then, and you know, I'm sure Henzes probably said to him, "Nice call, Coach."
Well, I'll tell you, the Keystone crowd is just a little bit in shock. They can't believe this Dunmore team is a Class A school. I mean, they are just dominating the line of scrimmage.
It's looked pretty easy so far.
Tim Ruddy putting on the kicking shoe now, ready to kick the extra point to make it 14-0. Well, Dunmore, like out of a shotgun here today, getting the early start with 2 TDs in the first period with 46 seconds on the clock.
Now you got to wonder about Keystone, Joe, a team that likes to pass a lot. They really don't have much of a choice now, even though it's so early in the game. You can't figure they're going to try to grind it out now.
Yeah, it's one thing when you like to pass a lot and don't have to. It's another thing when you have to pass a lot. That Dunmore defense now be able to play back a little bit. And I would say that we're at the critical stage of the football game here already in the first quarter. Just like that. I mean, there's just no... Look at the blocking right there. There's nobody within, 3 yards of him as he walks across. That may be the easiest touchdown he's had all year.
Yeah, the only guy that really had to make a block on that play was Kurt Bauman, who had to move one guy out of the way. And there's Tommy DiPietro, just scored the 2nd touchdown for Dunmore. And, man, oh man, that was some hole there.
DiPietro's 13th touchdown of the year. So Silvestrini from the 1, DiPietro from the 3. It's 13-0, and Tim Ruddy now. You watch it as it see if it splits the bars. It's blocked, and it'll be 13-0. So Ruddy's kick is partially blocked, and the score 13-0 with 46 seconds left to go in the first.
That was an extra point that was a little slow in developing.
That happens, and once that happens, you only have that little bit of time to get it down and up, and it just did not work. But at this point, it's still 13-0 Dunmore, and they got to feel pretty good about what's happened so far in this first period.
Last week, you recall, they actually were behind against South Williamsport. They trailed in that game 6-0, then came back and scored, I think, the next 21 points in a row and went on to that win. Their only loss, of course, 2 weeks ago to Berwick. Berwick will be playing later on today, 1 o'clock for their state championship down at Hershey.
And you know, Joe, I think Dunmore was very fortunate in the way the game situation has worked out for them, playing against a couple of good quarterbacks. Joey Kelchner was more of a runner than a passer 2 weeks ago, and then against Jason Zalonis of South Williamsport, who was more of a passer, but also a very good runner, but more of a mobile quarterback. I think it was good training to face this guy today, this McCool kid. I think it was kind of a good luck of the draw for them.
Who so far has shown us really nothing.
Here is Ruddy's low line drive kick. Almost fielded on the hop, taken up by Beichner. Beichner hit on the hips and dragged down again by Tom Gallagher. All right, let's go down to Jay Christopher once again down on the field. Jay?
Okay, we have a reaction from a Keystone fan. Early in the ball game, it's 13-0. What's your reaction so far?
Well, we're starting out a little slow. We've done that before and come back.
Okay, we'll get back upstairs right now from the field.
The comeback kids from Knox, Pennsylvania got into this championship game by edging Clairton 15-14, while Dunmore bested South Williamsport 27-12. And here they are with all the marbles on the line. McCool back to pass. In the pocket. The southpaw wires short in front of his receiver, covered by Golden.
He was covered. He also fell down, by the way, but he was definitely covered on that play, and they're going to have to try to break stuff for longer yardage than that.
Well, he's passed for over 2,000 yards, and his percentage 53.9. Not bad, but having a little trouble here today because of that sticky defense.
He also is looking over a lot bigger lineman than he normally would see.
Exactly. That's scary.
16 touchdowns for this guy via the pass route. Number 1, Jeremy McCool, 6'5", 195 pounds. Nice size prospect. In the shotgun, McCool fires this time again into traffic and out of bounds, intended for Mike Wilson, the left end.
The reason we're laughing is one of the Keystone line people. Actually, no, who's that? Is that our guy? That's our camera, our cable guy. Just did a little flip back over into the snowbank after being taken out on that play. Who is that? With those green glasses. I can't tell who it is.
Somebody from Middletown.
As if it's not tough enough to run camera down there. Somebody's got to wipe you out. There it is.
Go.
Oh, man.
Goodbye.
Bingo.
Glad that snow was there, really, to tell you the truth. A little cushion. The hazards of television.
So it's 3rd and 10 from about the 30-yard line. Again, you see the no markers on the field because of the snow. In the shotgun, it's to McCool. Looking for a flooded pass deal. He throws incomplete, intended for Kelly Byerly, the right end that time, who caught 6 touchdown passes this year.
And you can see how frustrated McCool is, shaking his head. I think he's frustrated with himself. I think he's frustrated with the fact his receivers can't get open. He's frustrated that he doesn't have any field condition. And most of all, I think he's frustrated because his team is behind 13-0.
Well, I don't understand why he threw the ball over there anyway, because the receiver was triple teamed. Byerly was triple teamed.
He was out of time, though, Tim. The guy was forcing him to the sideline. He just had to get rid of it.
Well, the guy that missed the catch is ready back to punt. Byerly from about the 20 gets it away. Altman is there. Nice spiral kick. Altman at the 42, 45, 50. Altman sidelines, loses the ball. It's out of bounds. And Dunmore retains possession.
Well, if you're going to lose the ball, that's the way to do it. Have it come out of your arms at a shot and go right out of bounds, so at least you can retain possession.
And if you're going to start a drive, why not start it at the 45-yard line? This is the 3rd time they've had the ball. The worst position has been their own 45.
We'll be right back with the score, 13-0 Dunmore.
Down on the field with John Henzes. John, any surprises? A 13-0 first period.
Well, right now we're playing very well defensively, and we hope we can keep this up because they've got a fine football team. They're going to start throwing the football, so we're going to have to be better prepared than we have been at the present time. Our defense is playing real good, and hopefully we can continue it.
Well, they've been blowing them out pretty well.
Well, our offensive line is doing a great job, and we said that's where we have to win this game up front.
Okay, thanks very much, John.
Appreciate
Back upstairs.
Jack Henzes Jr., molder of champions at Dunmore, won 2 Eastern Conference championships, and now trying to bring the state title in Class A qualification back to the trophy case. First period over, it's 13-0. A 1-yard plunge by Silvestrini and a 3-yard walk-in by DiPietro. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Rory Altman on the reverse around, and Altman skips for about 4 yards.
This is obviously the most critical part of the football game for the Keystone defense. They must stop Dunmore now. There's absolutely no chance they'll come back 21-0 down at this stage of the game. And again, they're going to control the game with the offensive line. You heard Coach Henzes say it. The offensive line controlling the ball right now. Same with the defensive line. And that's why they've got a 13-0 lead.
Well, at game time, it was 18 degrees, clear weather, sunny weather, Wind about 7 miles per hour, and it's remaining that, even getting a little more comfortable. DiPietro again, gang tackle. The black and gold all over the tailback, and DiPietro goes down at the 35-yard line.
And I think this is the first time this afternoon, actually this morning, that Dunmore is looking at a third down.
I think the only other time they were, Joe, it was a 3rd and 1 or a 3rd and 2, and
That's right.
Yeah, Silvestrini just blew through there to get the first down, or DiPietro. I don't know, in this territory, I wouldn't be surprised to see Marquez try a little rollout deal here and maybe try to hit the tight end Colo for about a 6 or 7 yard gain.
3rd and 4 for the quarterback Marquez. Hunches to Golden. Golden tries to zigzag around the right side, but runs out of running room.
Jason Nellis on the outside linebacker spot did a great job from behind to make that play for Keystone. That's going to set up a 4th down.
And Jason Nellis, who is the team's leading rusher, is also their leading tackler. And watch the pursuit here. What a beautiful play by Nellis.
And actually, Keystone's defense completely made that play by spreading that play out across the field. Never had a chance to turn upfield. Nice job that time by the Keystone defense. 4th down, and Dunmore, of course, will go for it.
They need about 3 from the 34-yard line. We've just opened up the second period, 13-0. The Bucks on top here at Middletown High School. The handoff to Silvestrini.
No.
His job to get the 3.
He didn't get it.
May have been stopped short.
Now, you know, that's an interesting call right there. You figure if anything could fire up the Keystone team would be to hold Dunmore on a 4th down play. And that could be the kind of a play, if they don't get it here, that could put a little fire into this Keystone deep. They had to stop them, and if they stop them here, that could be the kind of thing.
Well, they're going to measure. I honestly, from this angle, although we don't have the greatest in the world, from where we're standing, the camera will show us better. I don't think they made it, but maybe he did.
Yep, the way it stretched, didn't get it.
Just barely missed.
6 inches short, and the Panthers take over.
So my eyesight's pretty good today, guys. What can I tell you?
And the one thing you notice about high school football compared to college and pros, when the offenses and defenses change, nobody goes off the field. They maybe move 1 or 2 guys, and that's about it.
Yeah, so nobody really gets a break.
The Panthers now with their control on offense. First down at the 32-yard line. We'll try to get something going here. Try to get on the scoreboard and avoid the shutout going into the halftime locker room. Jeremy McCool. Sometimes out of the shotgun. This time behind his center.
Oh.
No way to go for that runner, Nellis.
Pick a number. They all made a tackle in there, I think.
Well, I don't think we're going to be doing that a whole lot longer. When you're down 13-0 and your team lives by the pass, let's pass, coach.
Tom Pavlovsky, I do believe, was the gentleman who made the initial contact on that play.
There's no question that Dunmore's defensive secondary so far has really frustrated McCool. He really hasn't found anybody open in the usual patterns that this team likes to work with.
2nd and 9 from the 33-yard line. The black and gold Panthers from Knox, Pennsylvania, trailing 13-0. Rory Altman, defensive captain, giving the signals to his troops. And here is McCool, rolling, running, and throws to the opposite side of his receiver, Israel Klinger.
Oh, Klinger was wide open, too. I'm surprised McCool missed him. I know he was rolling this way, but he was definitely open and for a big gain.
And you know, Joe, that's an easier pass to throw to for a rollout quarterback because he is going the way that he is throwing the ball.
Now, he's off your picture now, but he's way over on the left. He's open by 3 or 4 yards. Look, you can see he was wide open there, and a good pass. That was first down yardage.
Klinger has caught 15 passes for 186 yards and 1 touchdown for the flanker back. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 9. McCool now this time will operate out of the shotgun. There's the snap. Here's the fired ball, and it is complete. His first completion of the day to Mike Wilson.
Well, Tom Golden, though, was right there, and he didn't go out far enough for the first down yardage. He was open, but Golden let him have the field in front of him. Now watch. Golden is going to make the play. 29 on the defense, but he's not out far enough to get the first down. So even though he makes the catch, he's great pass, great catch, nice coverage, but he's not far enough for the first down.
So with 4th down, 8:25 left in the second period, it'll be Byerly back to punt. And Rory Altman, number 33, in single safety for the Bucks. Shifting around in the backfield now. Let's see if the Bucks defense comes on this. Snap is high to Byerly, but he gets it away. End over end kick, bounces, and will roll out of bounds at about the 37-yard line.
Believe it or not, that'll be Dunmore's worst field position of the afternoon. This is the 4th time they've had the ball, and the 37 is their worst field position.
A picture postcard of winter here at Middletown Area High School Stadium. The Class A State Championship later on this afternoon. The second half of our doubleheader at 4 o'clock on Toursville and Hickory. All right, let's go down to the sidelines with Jay Christopher.
Okay, we're down to the sidelines. What kind of a day is it here before we get more play action? It's a blanket day, a quilt day, and these are all Dunmore fans here rooting on 13-0 at this point. And they know they have something going. Let's go back upstairs.
The fans from Bucktown enjoying their 13-0 lead as Marquez gets set to work. Gives to DePietro, the fourth leading rusher in Dunmore High School football. Scampers for a couple.
And even, you know, with the snow out here, I don't think it's anywhere near as uncomfortable as it was last week when it was cloudy and a little breezy. It is bright, sunshiny today. It makes for pretty pictures. Look how bright that looks at home. I mean, it is gorgeous.
You talked about the leading rushers of all time at Dunmore High School. There you see no wind at all as the top of the ribbon there on the goalpost, but you got a feeling Mr. Silvestrini ball is going to be a big one by the time he's done at Dunmore.
Oh, definitely. 1st and 5 from the 43-yard line for the Bucks. One step back, Marquez fires.
Oh, yeah.
The sure-fingered catcher, Rory Altman.
Boy, you can't make that play any better than that. That has got to be bang, bang, and that's just what it was. And the defense, unless he knows the pass is coming, can't do a thing to stop it.
He's been the bread and butter man in the last 2 playoff games, totaling 178 yards. Watch Rory catch it.
There he is right there. You see him. Look at the pass. It's perfect. Right between that zone defense.
You get a great shot of that on our reverse angle camera and see Altman coming open as he goes in motion.
From the Keystone 44-yard line, the pitch is to Tommy Golden. Golden likes to skirt the outside territory and runs into the bench of Keystone.
You know, Joe, I think Dunmore got pretty fired up that they held Keystone on that last series after the offense was unable to make the first down, and I think they're all fired up again. Looks like they're really blowing some holes open down there.
Well, I don't think there's any question if they take this into halftime at 20-0, the second half should be a lot of fun, and a lot of kids on the other side of the field will get in a state playoff game as underclassmen.
2nd and 4 for Dunmore from the 33-yard line. Or the 37-yard line. Silvestrini leading the team with 67 defensive tackles. And now the referee stops the action. The referee, by the way, is Paul Feely, the head linesman Russell Zimmerman, the back judge Robert Walker, the umpire William Williams, Thomas Boyd, James Lashinsky.
And that is the first penalty of the football game, an offsides against Dunmore, lining up in the neutral zone.
Checking the second game officials, we'll have 3 from our area officiating that ball game. Bob Spagner will be in the game, Nick Polick and Jimmy Mello Jr.
There's Coach Joe Latesse from Keystone, and he better find something on that play sheet he's got in his hand real quick.
I think what he needs is to find about 10 more football players who are a little bit bigger.
1st and 6 from the 36-yard line. Dunmore 19, the Panthers nothing. The rush is on. The pass is complete to Klinger.
Oh, great play. Great play because McCool, and he's down. The quarterback, McCool, sacked by Timmy Ruddy just as he released that. He is down on the field.
But boy, what a great pass, Joe. I mean, under this kind of pressure, watch this. McCool knows he's going to get hammered by Ruddy, but nonetheless still gets the ball off in time to complete the pass. That's a big league play.
And I think maybe the wind was knocked out of him. It's certainly not a knee or an ankle or anything like that. I think Ruddy just fell on top of him when he tackled him.
I think you're absolutely right. Just by the way he's acting as if he's scared, can't get his breath. That's a very scary feeling when you get the wind knocked out of you. It's very desperate.
But to tell you, that was a big-time pass completion. First big gainer this afternoon, too, for Keystone.
Well, if you joined us late, it's 19-0 here around the 11 o'clock hour on a sunny Saturday morning from Middletown. Silvestrini scored the first touchdown from 1 yard out. From 3 yards out, it was DePietro. And then Silvestrini, earlier moments ago, 38 yards. Ruddy made an extra point via the kick and missed one. And the 2-point conversion try was no good. And that is the way the scoring summary goes with 6 minutes remaining in the second period.
And as I look at McCool down on the ground, I can only think about something that Coach George Curry told me yesterday. I said, how about that quarterback for Keystone? Big kid, good completion average. And Curry said to me, yeah, if he gets time to throw the ball. Jay Christopher is all over the place today. Jay.
All right, thanks, Joe. I don't know if you ever saw one of these. It's not your most popular brand of shoe, but it is the shoe Tim Ruddy wears for kicking purposes, extra points, and also the kickoff. So that weighs probably a pound or so, and that's the shoe Tim wears, and I thought you'd like to take a look at that. Back to you upstairs.
Well, we can tell he's not a soccer-style kicker, right, Joe?
Hang around there, Jay. We'll be looking. Maybe you can pick up some other goodies that you can show the fans out there.
Now, watch McCool. Ruddy's coming in. He's number 61. There he is on the left. McCool is going to get the pass off. But then right there, now watch, Ruddy falls down on him, and McCool now is up. He's coming off. I think he's just going to miss the mandatory one play, and then he'll be back.
I think you're absolutely right. He looks okay to me, but man, oh man, he got his bell rung, as they say. And that's a tough price to pay for a completed pass, and you know he's going to be thinking about that the rest of the day.
He looks a little groggy right now. I saw him shaking his head. He's got his mouthpiece out. Now he says, yeah, he's okay. They're asking him if he's okay.
I thought maybe he could hear you, Joe.
All right, the wing back or flanky back, Israel Klinger, is now the quarterback. In place of McCool, ball at the 45.
Looks like he's coming back in.
Yeah, he's ready. This is the state playoffs. So, I mean, there's just no way. Your team's down by 19 points. You got to throw the ball to get back. You're coming back out there.
He's saving him for next week.
It'll probably be a basketball practice Monday.
Exactly. Good point.
Well, there's 3 or 4 or 5, I believe, Dunmore Bucks that will also play basketball this year. And Coach Kelly of the basketball squad, they'll have until Thursday, and then they report.
You know, that happens a lot at smaller schools, of course, because there aren't as many students. A lot of kids play more than one sport, even more at smaller schools.
McCool, just shy of the 50-yard line. The lefty fires and hits Mike Wilson.
Now you're starting to see this kid, McCool. He got that off fast with pretty good coverage and a nice pass completion for about a 6-yard gain. This kid, real good-looking quarterback, but he's got to get everything off fast. That's the problem.
Okay, I understand we had some technical problems, and we were off the air for a little while before, so we're going to show you Dunmore's last touchdown, and it was a pretty one. Here it is. Dave Silvestrini streaking for 37 yards in the touchdown to make it Dunmore 19-0. We're sorry about the technical problems, but at least via the replay, you get to see the touchdown.
3rd and 5 from the Buck 47-yard line. McCool rushes on. Escapes that one. A one-hand try by Kelly Byerly is no good.
Hand it to McCool, though. This kid is something under pressure. He got that ball away with a good bit on it, and really, I think it was a catchable pass.
He just didn't have time to set it up. Here comes the Dunmore blitz. Everybody's coming, and of course, that means that somebody's going to be open if he's got time to get to him. He didn't have time. Incomplete, brings up a big 4th down.
I think on a better field, that's an extremely catchable pass because the gentleman can kind of take a step in there and catch it. But today it's a little tough making those quick moves toward the ball.
Byerly ready to punt. Boy, he's been a busy guy back there. His 5th punt of the afternoon, kicking from about the 40-yard line. Golden and Altman are deep. Less than 5. He wants to fake it. Now he's going to let it go, but it's straight up and straight down.
Boy, oh boy.
Out of bounds at about the 32-yard line.
Well, that was planned all the way. I think they were going to try to run for the 1st down if it was open. When Dunmore converged, the kid had a punt, and it's pretty tough to run the ball and punt even in the pro level, let alone at the high school level. And so Dunmore will take over on downs.
I think he might have been able to run farther than punt the way he punted the ball. Wow.
Well, it was obviously he was running forward. The ball slippery. It was out of bounds. And Dunmore now have another chance to put up 6 before the half with 4:29 left.
The gentleman in the middle there, you saw Joe Latesse, and there is Coach Jack Henzes of Dunmore. Mr. Latesse has to be a little bewildered right now.
Well, he's just, he's looking at a better football team. I don't think there's any question about it.
Altman in motion. 1st and 10 from the 46. Slipping a little bit is Marquez. Now spots his receiver all the way down. It is Altman on the reception at the 25. Altman tries to drag the tackler, and he's dragged out of bounds. What a nifty pass by Rory Altman.
And they're picking on the opposing quarterback on that play, Jeremy McCool, who's playing cornerback. And I don't understand how McCool can let him catch this pass.
Well, watch what happens. The pass is thrown on the other side. Actually, I think McCool's got pretty good coverage. He's going to be open down there. He throws it. McCool is right on him there. Now the ball comes over on the other side. That was not really a good pass. It was good coverage. It was to the other side, and of course, there's the completion. And then McCool makes the tackle, gets him out of bounds. But the coverage was good. The pass actually was on the other side.
The ball at the 8-yard line. Dunmore 19. Keystone nothing. Marquez trying to take him in for their 4th touchdown of the morning. This is going to be Petro. Try to go inside, now wanted to go outside, but is converged on very, very quickly by Matt Eisenhuth, number 57.
By the way, that big pass was for 58 yards, Paul. And it looks like Dunmore is playing what you might call a complete ball game.
Well, Mr. Marquez now has gone over the 1,000 yards in passing this year. And the junior quarterback will be back next year to try to break some more records. It is still at the 7-yard line. Golden gets the call.
Oh,
Golden
man.
finds, and like lightning, he just zigzags into the end zone. And it is now 25-0, and we still have 3:36 to go in the half.
Joe, I think you and I ought to head down there, pal, and try to run the ball a couple of times with that front line up there.
Well, I thought they would try to take their time and go into the end zone here by halftime. But again, the big pass and then wide open here. We've seen this the entire football game. And folks, when you've got 250-yard guys blocking 200-yard guys, probably the 250-yard guy is going to win most of the time.
Let's give some credit there. Dave Silvestrini, the big running back, with a great block on the right side to spring Golden on that play.
And again, they'll try for the 2-point conversion on this one. The last one did not go. Silvestrini, the lone man, in back of his quarterback, Marquez. And it's going to be Marquez looking right, but he throws left. And it is incomplete.
Sean Colo just couldn't come up with that
point
play.
for the 2-point conversion goes down the drain.
Reverse angle now of that touchdown that has given Dunmore the 25-0 lead.
Watch the block by Silvestrini there. Boom, there it is.
He walks in again, almost untouched, and just like that, 3.5 minutes left, and it is 25-0 Dunmore.
There's Colo not quite being able to make the pass. 4 plays, 65 yards on the drive. That's easy.
And that's exactly what Keystone is supposed to be doing, scoring touchdowns now on 3 and 4 plays drives.
They better do it now. They better score it on 1 play the way it's going here.
Tom Marquez, the field general so far here in the first half, and what a combination. Everybody in the act in that backfield. Silvestrini with a pair of touchdowns, the tailback DePietro with 1, Tommy Golden also in there at tailback, scores the other, and Altman, the flanker back, catches the big pass to set up the 4th touchdown.
And you're always wondering why there's just a little bit of delay between the touchdowns, because, as Jay Christopher showed you, Mr. Ruddy has to change shoes.
Where do you buy a shoe like that?
You buy one with a round toe and you get a knife or an axe and cut it off.
I'll tell you what, if you're 6'4", 255, you buy it anywhere you want.
Or we'll get it for you, right?
Yeah, we don't have it, Mr. Ruddy, but let us know when you need it.
Timmy's one of the finest young men you'll ever meet. He's a fine young man.
All right, Best is back, Beichner and Wilson. And it's Wilson with the ball. Wilson coming upfield, finds daylight. Wilson 40, 45, Wilson to the 50, the biggest play of the morning so far for the Panthers.
Sean Colo was the last guy. He's the one who forced it outside down there around the 50-yard line. Now this time he breaks through the initial blocking right here, and he's on his way. There's a missed tackle right there. Now here comes Colo. Watch this, 85, and then taken out of bounds right there by Altman.
So after the kickoff, the Panthers in pretty good field position at the 48-yard line of Dunmore, ready to operate. McCool, Best, Nellis, Klinger in the backfield. Klinger flanked out to the right side. Right at the bottom of your screen there you see the draw play.
Fumble.
A bad exchange.
Well, what happened on that, I think you're right, it was a draw play. I think the ball just never got into his hands, and this is the first time, by the way, that Keystone has been across the 50-yard line.
See if we can pick it up here.
He's got it here, and look, he just never got the ball. I don't even think he realized that the play was to him. He never really looked like he was getting the football. Never reacted like it was going to him.
I'm taking a look at the center who twisted his ankle before the game, and he is hurting as he comes out to the line of scrimmage. Take a look at him next time when he comes out.
In the shotgun, Jeremy McCool, 2nd and 10 from the 48-yard line. Lots of time to throw. The southpaw cranks up, fires for his man. Mike Wilson to the 10-5. Wilson with 2 great catches in the series puts Keystone on the scoreboard.
Nice pass play there. And Wilson was wide open.
Bucks getting a little careless, guys?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, these guys, this is what they've done all year. They pass well, they throw for big plays. They're in the state playoffs, and that was a big league play. Okay, this is not his primary receiver, by the way. He was covered, and he's wide open. Just like that, they're on the board. And how about that for a big touchdown with 2.5 minutes left in the half to maybe put a little life into this Keystone offense?
Well, Joe, you said they had a score in 1 or 2 plays, and they did it.
25-6. Dunmore on top of Keystone. Here in the first half, a lot of scoring and a lot of plays. And this is going to be McCool looking for a receiver right, looking left, and the ball bounces in front of Klinger.
He was wide open, and I have a feeling that the Dunmore coaches will be a little bit concerned on how these guys were able to get open. How Keystone was able to get open on this last touchdown drive, even though they did not make the 2-point conversion. They were open.
Well, I think you're going to see, by the way, the plume of steam you see there is 3 Mile Island, the famous 3 Mile Island. And here comes the touchdown again. McCool with the pass, and boy, this kid's got a good arm, throwing across the grain a little bit there too, and down to the center to Wilson, and Wilson's wide open, and he's gone.
That's what a good quarterback can do for you on a day like this, under slippery conditions. If your receiver makes a move and gets a Dunmore guy down, good quarterback will get the pass to him. And we've got, it looks to me like a personal foul has been called on Keystone after the touchdown and on the point after, and they'll be kicking off 15 yards back. That's what it is. It's a personal foul, probably unsportsmanlike conduct.
Look at that youngster there.
Personal foul.
Taking a nap at a football game.
The official has just called personal foul against Keystone, and so they will kick off from the 25-yard line, and that'll guarantee Dunmore good field position. And believe me, now that they've seen how quickly Keystone can score, you can be sure Dunmore is going to try to get another touchdown up before the half.
Well, that may be why Coach Jack Henzes tried to score as quickly as he did the last time, though, Joe. He wants to get as many points on the board as he can. And that may be why Dunmore went right after it last time they had the ball.
Tommy Golden, number 29. Klinger will kick it away. Klinger gets a nice end-over-end kick. It's going to be DiPietro. Drops the ball, picks it up at the 38-yard line. DiPietro to the 50-yard line and down at the 48-yard line.
Nice effort.
Again, on the other side of the 50, they have had great field position all afternoon. The worst field position that Dunmore has had was the 37. And the reason that this is so good is because of the personal foul, 15 yards. They get the ball in great field position here. Now, a little problem, as you can see, it looks like both of them wanted the ball. It bounced, and they were kind of lucky it bounced back up into his hands.
And look at him keeping the legs moving there. DiPietro doesn't want to go down.
Out of the huddle they come. Marquez, Silvestrini, DiPietro, and Altman in the backfield for Dunmore, leading 25-6. There he goes. The bomb before the half. Tipped by the defender intended for Rory Altman.
I'll tell you, Altman was covered nicely on that. They picked him up with single coverage, and as the zone came open, double coverage picked him up, and I don't think there was any chance to complete that. That was his intention all along, going to Altman.
You know, the amazing thing, that wasn't the greatest fake in the world to DiPietro on the backfield, but boy, did the linebackers fight for it, and he had time to throw, and a little bit farther, and that would have been the story there. McCool and Best on the coverage.
2nd and 10 for the Bucks, just inside the 50-yard line. Marquez to Silvestrini. He likes to go through big gaping holes, but it's quickly converged on, and Silvestrini is down.
Well, very interesting to me the way things have changed a little bit. Dunmore came out running the ball, opening the big hole, scoring, running. Now, all of a sudden, they're throwing the ball a little bit. They get an incomplete pass. That fires up the defense here. Look at this.
Number
Keystone
31.
now makes a big play on defense. We've got a penalty against Dunmore. And now you're giving Keystone a chance to get back in the football game.
And Jack Henzes and Paul Marranca, who runs the offense for Dunmore, not real thrilled about the last couple of plays, I don't think. By the way, Jason Nellis was the young man who...
How about that? They're going to turn down and put him in a 3rd and 8 situation. I think they want the ball back, and they're turning down that 10-yard penalty.
Jason Ellis, by the way, who is the big running back for Keystone, made that last tackle. He's also the team's leading tackler, so he's a good two-way football player.
And reportedly is on his way to the University of Rochester. On the reverse, Golden this time with a big blocking back in front of him. That is Bauman, and Golden gets the first down inside the 40 at the 35-yard line.
Maybe they should have taken that penalty,
Well,
Joe.
you know, again, I'm thinking about that call. You don't like to second-guess coaches, but it would have been 2nd down and 18 instead of 3rd down and 8.
Well, I think maybe he was looking at the time factor, wanted to, you know, hold them on that 3rd down. Otherwise, it would have gone back to 2nd down. So, you know, he figured he didn't want to give him another play.
Now with 1:20 left, I think you're going to see them throw again, try to get another touchdown in before the half.
There you see the Bucks at the 35-yard line. 25-6 on the draw. This is going to be DePietro. Shakes off one tackler, and then it takes 2 or 3 Panthers to bring him down.
DePietro really got through there in a hurry, and really was only one missed tackle away from breaking this baby.
Well, Bob Morris had a shot at him right here and then misses the tackle.
Look out.
Intercepted.
Oh, what a tackle.
That's Nellis on the interception. And Tommy DePietro is down for Dunmore. Looks like he's going to be able to get back up there.
Hey, Tommy DePietro may have saved a touchdown on that tackle. He was the last guy. He had a blocker in front of him. He may have saved a touchdown. Now, there's a flag down on the play. There's a flag down. It's against.
Is it a dead ball foul, which means if it's after the play, then Keystone will retain possession after the interception. Let's see what the referee has to say.
They picked up the flag. He didn't say anything.
Well, maybe he dropped that instead of his bean bag. I've seen that happen a couple of times in plays for the official to mark the point of interception.
The ball at the 28-yard line. The clock 35 seconds and running. 25 for Dunmore, 6 for Keystone. McCool, under desperation now, fires away. Almost a beautiful one-handed catch by Matt Best.
McCool is talking to himself out there, and I think the offensive line saying, guys, just give me a little more time, just a little more time.
Yeah, Dave Silvestrini really made that play for Dunmore. He rushed McCool. McCool didn't have enough time. That play never really developed. Best way to shut down the passing game was with that blitz.
Well, the clock is stopped with 25 seconds, and the Panthers out of the huddle now. At the 28-yard line, 2nd down. In the shotgun is Jeremy McCool. Good protection, lots of time, and the left-hander fires downfield. It's going to be picked up by Marquez at the 45-yard line. Marquez down at the 50.
That was simply a case of a bad pass. They had his man beat. Marquez, though, came back and picked off the short pass. Now, he'll have him beat here. You can't see him down this side of the field on the left. He's open. But you see the ball slip out of his hand a little bit there.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Tom Golden would have had that interception had he not fallen down. So I'm sure Marquez will be kidding him about that after the game today, especially if they get a chance to watch it at home on the VCR.
16 seconds left. I would suspect Dunmore will just run this out, taking it at halftime, leading 25-6.
One of the longest first halves that we've been into now. It's almost 45 minutes, or rather an hour and 15 minutes for the first half, and we still have 16 ticks on the clock. Marquez talking over his plays with head coach Jack Henzes, Paul Marranca there, pointing the finger.
Now, we haven't seen Marquez run the ball yet today. Can you imagine maybe just to cross him up a little bit? The other team maybe thinks they're going to just try to wind it down here, even though they are right at the 50-yard line. And Marquez do a little bootleg and maybe hope that the field opens up enough for him to scamper in for a touchdown. He's got some good speed. He's a good quarterback with the ball.
16 seconds left. They may try one because they do have good field position at the 50, but you know, going in 25-6 with a little concern, though, I think, about how Keystone was able to score that touchdown late in the half.
Yeah, the tempo definitely changed here in the last few minutes.
All right, let's see what the Bucks do with the remaining 16 seconds here in the first half, leading 25-6. Marquez wants to go to the air. Long, short. He ducks around, looking, throwing long this time for Altman, and it's picked up by McCool to the 30, 35, 40, 45 quickly, and wisely races out of bounds to stop the clock with 3 seconds.
I'll tell you what, Tommy Golden tried to make a great play over there for Dunmore. He tried to keep McCool in bounds. Of course, the Bucks would have stopped changing possession anyway. Here's the replay.
Altman comes out across them. There he goes. You see him right across the screen. He's open there, but the ball is underthrown, and he falls down. But the ball was underthrown. Marquez trying to throw back across the field, but it did open up. So one last play from the 45-yard line, their own 45. They'll need a 55-yard play to get a touchdown.
All right, it should be bombs away by Jerry McCool on this one. Here comes Ruddy. He gets it, and McCool takes a sack. The pass is short, and that's going to put an end to the first half, in which we've seen just about everything. The Bucks scoring 25 and the Panthers 6, and that's the way it stands at halftime.
Play a little shabby there at the end of the first half. Let's go to Jay Christopher. Jay?
Thank you very much, Tim. John, first half impressions.
Well, I think offensively we're playing very well as defensively. We just got to get a little more pressure on the quarterback, and he's doing a fine job throwing the football against us. We're going to have to get a little better pass rush than we have at the present time.
You were right. They can score almost at will. Well, not at will, but they can score quite easily.
Well, they got excellent receivers, and Jeremy's an excellent quarterback, so we've got to make sure we keep inside the pocket, don't get them outside of us. That's what's happening here. Of course, the footing is getting a little more treacherous right now, but basically we're very happy where we're at this present time.
See you in the second half.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right. Okay, back to you upstairs, Tim.
Thank you very much, J.K., and you can tell Coach Henzes is a bit concerned, and I don't think that is a false concern at all, Joe. I think he's genuinely concerned that they can score quickly.
I think you're exactly right. When it was 25-0, it looked like they were rolling, they were on their way, and then all of a sudden that big play offense opened up, and when you can score a touchdown that quickly, I think there's a little bit of concern on Dunmore's part, but I think they're going to come back out in the second half and run the ball, take some time off the clock. They've got a 3-touchdown lead.
And, Paul, the play got a little shabby there at the end of the first half on the part of both teams.
Costly mistakes by both teams. I don't know whether Dunmore was resting, and it cost them a couple of interceptions. All right, the score at halftime from Middletown Area High School Stadium in the first game of our doubleheader is Dunmore 25, Keystone 6. We'll be back with more when we return.
Glad you're watching this live and exclusive presentation on WNEP-TV. We're at halftime of the Class A State Championship. The Dunmore Bucks leading the Keystone Panthers 25-6. It's a beautiful day here in Middletown, and it's a beautiful day for Coach Jack Henzes and his coaching staff. And Coach Jack Henzes and assistant Paul Marranca, you know, they have a little bit in common. As a matter of fact, they have a lot in common. We're going to tell you about that. Take a look at it. Dunmore's Jack Henzes is one of this area's greatest high school football coaches. Jack's been head man at Dunmore since 1971, won 5 Big 11 and Eastern Conference Northern Division titles and the Eastern Conference Championship back in 1985. Jack is the first person to tell you he wouldn't have had any of the success without great assistant coaches. All of those coaches are former Dunmore players under Jack Henzes, except one, Paul Marranca, who played for Jack at Wyoming Area High School. When Henzes moved to Dunmore in 1971, former player Marranca went with him.
He was the first one that I chose to be one of my assistants. In fact, first year it was just Paul and I with 80 players, and he took care of one group of people and I took care of the other, and we kind of helped out with the training facilities and the equipment, and we worked very, very well together.
Henzes and Marranca were a winning combination in the 70s until Paul became a head coach himself back at his alma mater, Wyoming Area. Marranca took the Henzes book of success with him, going to the Eastern Conference playoff twice, winning the championship in 1980, and except for a last-second block punt, would have won again in 1984.
When I went to Wyoming Area, I often, commented to people, Wyoming Area and Dunmore had like a lend-lease program, because I would talk to Jack at least 2 or 3 times a week, and he would call me and exchange ideas, and wherever we could help each other out, it worked that way.
Despite the winning, Paul left Wyoming Area after the 1986 season.
When I took my sabbatical leave to work in the restaurant business for a year, Jack said to me, if you get lonely for the game, he said, let me know. And that was like a week after I got involved. At the end of that year, I knew I wanted to get back into football, and the door was open. I came in here, and it was like I was here since 1975.
Obviously, you guys are on the same page all the time.
Well, I think we think alike, you know, and I think I let him run our offensive team for us because he knows exactly what I want to have done, and naturally when he became the head coach of Wyoming area, he put a lot of his own ideas in, and he's brought many of those good ideas to here. So we kind of bring those culmination together, and hopefully that it's been very, very successful for us, and he does a great job with our young people.
Jack Henzes figures it won't be long until Paul Marranca finds another head coaching job somewhere and leaves Dunmore again. But Jack wants Paul to know he's always welcome in Buck Country.
He's really part of our family here at Dunmore High School, and we're just very happy to have him with us.
Jack is like a father to me. He has done so much to help me through school, and when I came back as an assistant coach, he gave me a lot of responsibility, and the kids have been good to me, the fans have been good to me, the people in Dunmore have treated me extremely well.
Part of that great coaching staff that has Dunmore a half away from its first ever Class A state title. We are at halftime, 25-6 Dunmore, and the Dunmore Band has come down today to entertain the crowd on both sides of the field.
Nice job by the Dunmore Band on this chilly day. And, you know, earlier in the ballgame, we were talking about Tim Ruddy, the big lineman for Dunmore, and how great a football player he is. Well, Timmy is also quite the student. Take a look at this. He's being recruited by all the big colleges. They want him to play football. Dunmore's Tim Ruddy is one of the best linemen ever to play around here. As great as Tim Ruddy is on the football field, his greatest high school achievements have come in the classroom, especially this year. Tim is an advanced honors student. That means he takes all the most challenging courses offered. That hasn't stopped him from being ranked first among the 99 seniors at Dunmore. His overall grade point average just hundredths of a point under 98. His College Board total score is in the exceptional category at 1470.
As I was growing up, my family, you know, like I said before, they said just go out and try to be the best at everything you do. So I was kind of encouraged at a young age to work hard at academics, and it comes to me fairly easily. So I think that's pretty much the way I learned it.
Obviously, the academic and athletic accomplishments of Timmy bring much more attention to the school, and we are proud of this fact, but we are proud of the fact that Timmy can achieve in his athletic realm and bring recognition to his school in a positive manner.
You have to give his parents a lot of credit, and God has been very, very good to him academically. you know, things come to him very, very easily. But he does spend his time, and he budgets his time very, very well. And in the athletic program, I mean, Tim knows exactly what he had to do, and he was probably one of the hardest workers we've ever had here at Dunmore High School.
Now you can understand why Tim Ruddy is such a hot college prospect. He's the dream student and football player, all wrapped up in one big package. But that can create a major problem. A ton of college recruiters trying to lure Tim to their school. It makes making a big decision tough.
As you said, it's a difficult decision whether to go for total academics or a combination of football and academics. So I'm still undecided. It's going to be a tough decision.
I mean, you realize you're a college recruiter's dream here. You have great grades, so you're going to make it in no problem with that, plus you're a great football player.
Well, I like to think so.
In Timmy's case, whoever gets Tim Ruddy, he's going to be a credit to their institution.
In an hour or so, Tim Ruddy's great high school football playing career will be over. But on Monday, Tim will get back to something he does even better than football: learning. And Timmy Ruddy's parents have to be the proudest people on earth. I know all the Dunmore people are proud, but Timmy Ruddy's parents have to be extremely proud of that young man. Okay, we're at halftime here, 25-6. Dunmore in front of Keystone, and we'll be back with more right after this.
We're at halftime. It's 25-6. Dunmore up on top. Well, later on this afternoon at 4 p.m., Channel 16, of course, will be telecasting the Montoursville and Hickory game, and that'll be coming your way at 4 o'clock, the Warriors. Earlier this week, we had the opportunity to speak to the coach, Jim Bergen. And before the season started, Jim confessed that he wasn't too sure of what kind of team he would have. There was a lot of gaps to fill, and, well, here's the interview, and this is his story. Toursville and Hickory this afternoon at 4 o'clock right here on Channel 16. We're at halftime here. It's 25-6 as we work our way toward the third period. And let's go back upstairs.
Thanks a lot, Jay. And you see the Dunmore fans, they're all fired up for the second half of this ball game. Nice helmet there. Nice helmet. All righty, we're going to run down the scoring in this ball game for you, which it stands right now at 25-6. With Dunmore in the lead and just a half away from winning. Well, the first score of the game, a 1-yard touchdown run. Dave Silvestrini capped a 7-play 50-yard drive, and that made it 7-0 Dunmore with the point after at 5:21 left in the first period. The next touchdown, a 3-yard TD run, Tommy DiPietro, and that came in a few minutes later, 46 seconds left in the period, and that made it 13-0 Dunmore as the 2-point conversion was no good. Then, Dave Silvestrini with a great run here, 37-yard touchdown run at 6:48 of the second quarter, and that made it 19-0 Dunmore as the 2-point conversion was no good, and the Bucks were rolling. And then Tom Golden on the 7-yard TD run, capped a 4-play, 65-yard drive. 3:36 left in the half, and it was 25-0 Dunmore. And finally, with 2:35 left in the halftime, the big 48-yard pass for Keystone. Beautiful play, and that made it 25-6. That's where we stand at halftime. Dunmore on top, 25-6. Over Keystone. Let's go down to Jay Christopher on the sidelines once again. Jay?
Thank you very much, Tim. I don't know if you could see this or not, but there is just a little glisten here because the snow is starting to melt right here as the sun becomes out right around high noon. And this is very slippery. And if we were to do one of these things, you could see very clearly that indeed there will be more footing problems when the third period starts here at Middletown. So we're going to have to watch this very closely. And right now, let's go back upstairs.
Just don't fall down there, JK. Hang on to yourself down there. We'll be back for the start of the second half of this Class A state championship game with the score, Dunmore 25, Keystone 6.